We are so glad that you have tuned in to today's encouraging words. Sit back, relax, and hopefully you will hear something that will inspire you on today. Let's get ready for today's encouraging words, brought to you by Walk in Truth Radio Network. Let's listen.
Hello, this is Pastor Jay of Walk in Truth Radio Network with your encouraging word for today. We loop back around. You're trying to count it all as joy. You're long suffering with people. You're long suffering through the illnesses and the circumstances, incidents, and accidents of your life. And here it comes, slander. You're actually doing good, and here comes a hater. And you say, what is going on? Well, 1 Peter talks about when they slander you, what you should do is take the disposition of understanding there's really something wrong with them. They see the light in you and they want to put it out. That's the point of darkness. That's what the Prince of Darkness does. He wants to accuse you of not actually being saved by you responding in darkness rather than light. What is a hater? Well, let me give you a little analogy story. You know, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of haters are people that, you know, when it's time to do kickball and sports and things of that nature, they're never picked. They're picked last. For whatever reason, their past performances, people don't like them, they're picked last. And I found out through living my life that these people who are normally picked last for most of everything, they're kind of second best, third best. They're not really ones that you would want in your camp. And they're pushed to the fringes. Well, what happens to their personality sometimes is that they grow up, and when they see people achieve, their first reaction is hatred. And they scheme, they lie, they cheat, and they steal. And I have a couple of those in my life, whereas they have slandered me and never ever spoken to me about what they accuse me of. They have said a lot of things, and the way I know that they've slandered me is eventually, and I'm telling you the good side of this, eventually the people that they slandered you to, they will be led to you, and you'll find out through the conversation with them that you were slandered. And that they had to find out for themselves. And once they found out for themselves, they're ashamed, and they found out that what was said about you is not true. And when I look back at the source of the slander, it is one of those people who you wouldn't generally pick to do nothing for you, but has obtained through manipulation leadership positions and titles. And the way they want to govern, the way they want to lead, the way they want to be followed is through keeping confusion up and slandering the true light and the true chosen of God. And now that dark thing is being exposed. Now, what is my response? My response is to give them a drink of water, to love on them, to understand what they may be going through, their insecurities, their lack of trusting even themselves. Their motive is to make themselves look good. It is not necessarily to make you look bad, but the only way they know how to do that is to put you down, slander your name, and say some things against you. So I want to encourage you today, those who have haters in their life, look at things circumspectly as the Bible tells us to do, and understand where it comes from. It comes from an unsaved soul, but it also comes from social pressures that may have been established when they were children, and they weren't well liked. They weren't well respected. They were picked last to play kickball and were marginalized in high school and maybe in college. And now they're trying to establish themselves, but the only thing they know how to do is step on your head, put you down, slander you, and talk against you to make themselves look good. You need to pray for them. because they're lost. But God can change their hearts and let them understand they also are wonderfully and uniquely made. And just because you're chosen second, third, or fourth, it doesn't mean that God can't use you. Matter of fact, you are the perfect person for God to use. Someone who has been marginalized, set aside, and put away by the social structure we live in. You know who you can ask? Ask Caleb. Caleb was just as qualified as Joshua, but Joshua got the nod. And Caleb lived a good, godly, strong life as an example of a number two person living out his life as a number one. This is Pastor Jay of Walk of Truth Radio Network. I always want you to be encouraged, be blessed, and be at peace, and realize your haters strengthen you, but you should also look forward to strengthening them and encouraging them and helping them see that you are really not their enemy. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to today's encouraging words. If these words have inspired you, please take the time to support the encouraging word for today with a donation and your prayers. We want to thank you in advance and would like to hear from you. Contact us at sutton968@gmail.com or check us out on Walk in Truth Radio Network YouTube. Thank you for listening and consider subscribing and sharing.